Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Shawna Roche with Shaw-Roco Solutions. Welcome live to Shawna with Shawna at Shaw-Roco Solutions. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a real estate investor. I'm out of the Calgary area, and I work with a team of professionals, realtors, mortgage brokers, property managers, building inspectors, and so on and so forth to help Albertans become homeowners. So if you've watched my previous videos, I've talked about who we are, what we do, some of the ongoing questions that I receive on a daily basis. And tonight I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the rent-to-own program and actually go through some some scenarios of what a rent-to-own program would look like from a tenant buyer's perspective situation, because I talk a lot about a current situation, this situation, but some people have been asking me, like, what is an actual situation? What would a situation be? So I thought tonight that's kind of what I would focus on. So for the different scenarios, one of them to start off with would be like a single mom who's recently divorced, back at the workforce. She's been turned down for a traditional mortgage, but however, she does have like 5% down, but the banks have said no. So in that case, you know, she's living in, like, say for instance, she's currently in a condo, and we all know that condos with the condo fees that they can go up due to an assessment. So in some cases, you know, you need a new roof put in, or they need upgraded the exterior, or whatever the situation may be. The condo board goes ahead, they do the improvements. Next thing you know, you get stuck with this assessment fee. And in some cases, it can be large. Like, it can take you from, you know, like your 200 and something condo fee up to like 500. And if you're on a budget, that's tough to afford. All of a sudden, it's putting you in a situation where you're out of your budget. You know, like I said, single mom, you're worried about your children. So, you know, some condos, depending on certain scenarios, you only have, like, say 2 bedrooms and you have 2 kids. So you're in one, the kids are crammed in another one. You know, you have a small yard. The kids are bugging you for a dog because they want a dog, but you can't have a dog because the landlord won't let you. Or the condo, I mean, what if it's a landlord or you own the condo, you don't have the yard for it. So in a case like that, we would sit down with you and we would go over basically what your criteria is. And once you're approved for our program, then we work with our realtor, one of our professional realtors on our team, to find you what you want. So we would sit down and we would say, okay, what is it you're looking for? What would fit your needs with your family? So in some cases like this, it would be to move into a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, fenced house with a yard. Fenced yard. Close to schools, shopping, maybe a yoga studio for the mom, looking to be in affordable community. So whether it's just outside of Calgary, that may work for you. A newer home with less maintenance, so you don't have to worry about, oh, okay, now I have to repair my own roof or my hot water tank or my furnace, or putting out any extras at that period of time. So then, or unless of course you live next door to a handyman, then you're okay. But in certain situations, you're on your own to take care of all your maintenance, and you might not be able to or afford to. So that's where we would sit down and say, okay, well, let's look in some, you know, 4- or 5-year-old kind of properties and look in those kind of areas which fit your criteria. The nice part about that is all of a sudden you're on a constant monthly payment, so you know what you're paying, and you don't have to worry about assessments coming in, things like that. You're building your equity in your house, so that's one of the situations. Another situation, which is quite common now, is where people are starting up their own businesses. And so you go to start up your own business and you think, wow, this is great. You know, the wife wants to start her own business. She wants to put a salon in her house. And the husband, he has a job, but he's just moved from one job to another job because, you know, it's Calgary and that's been happening a lot lately. So you go to the bank and the bank's like, no, sorry, you can't qualify. So that's another situation where a rent-to-own program would work great for you because you've been turned down by the bank for traditional lending due to your income and your current situation. And your current landlord where you're at won't let you have your business in your house. So in a scenario like that, once again, we sit down, we find out exactly what your needs are, what you need for your business in your home. And then we take a look at it saying, okay, so you're starting a business in your home, you're a salon, you're running a salon, what is it you need to make your business run out of your house smoothly without any headaches? So then we sit down and, okay, we agree 3 bedrooms upstairs, maybe, 3 bathrooms, a developed basement where you can have a salon where one room's a salon with, say, a sink and extra storage and, all the amenities you need down there. Maybe you want to look at, for instance, excuse me, a bi-level or a bungalow or something where you have a separate entrance downstairs. So when people are coming over to your house to get their hair done or whatever it is, your nails, that they don't have to walk through your primary living residence. They can just, have their own entrance. So that might be something you're looking for. Also, it might be a situation where you're like, okay, now we found this house, parking's an issue. So a detached garage would be great at the back for you to park, but you'd like some parking available at front for your customers to be able to park up front. And so that's another scenario where we could sit down and work with you and our realtors and find you the perfect home that would work for you and your business. As well as another scenario would be, for instance, you're a tradesperson. And I run into this with my day job all the time. So you're, I'm just going to say kind of like a scenario I've heard of recently where you've moved here from another province. So you come in from another province and you start working for a company, great company. You work there for, a year or two and you're getting your average monthly income, your T4, everything's great. You go to the bank, you qualify for this mortgage, you're all excited, like, yes, we qualify for a $500,000 mortgage, this is awesome. And so next thing you know, things go a little bit different at work, you're not quite happy, and you think, you know what, I had my own business before in another province, I think I can do that again. I'd like to start up my own business. So you turn around and, your spouse supports you, so you go out there, you leave your job, you start up your own company, you get your truck, you get your tools, you get on the road, you're ready to go, and then all of a sudden your wife's like, okay, but what about this house? We're like bursting at the seams, the kids are sharing a room, we really need to get into a better house, and I want to buy a house, not rent a house. So you go out there and you start looking around and you think, this is great, we can find a house. Then you go to the bank for your mortgage, and what's the bank going to do? They're going to tell you no, because all of a sudden you're self-employed. And because you've gone from that steady income monthly to all of a sudden no income, the bank's going, yeah, red flag, this is a problem you need to have. And some banks, it depends, like they want usually 3 years of a steady stream of showing that you have income coming in. So in a case like that, it's like, okay, what are we going to do now? So a rent-own would be perfect for you, because then we can turn around and again work with the realtor, say, what are you looking for? Well, you're a tradesman, you're looking at 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, you want a kitchen with an open living area, you'd like a fully developed basement so the kids can play, you want a large backyard for your dog and your children. Also, you want to live in a neighborhood where there's other young children, so your kids have people to play with, maybe a quiet cul-de-sac where they can play on the road out front, you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, that happens in our neighborhood a lot. So those days are still out there with children play on the street, and it's actually quite nice, as long as it's a safe area. As well as, close to schools, close to shopping. You might want a detached garage because, again, you're a tradesperson and you bring your truck home, and you need a workshop area. So as well as you could also look at working in an outlying area. So that's another scenario we get. So as well as those, there's so many different scenarios. When I get asked this question, it's always hard to answer because there are so many different scenarios out there. Another scenario that has come up for me over the last, I said last month, it's come up a couple different times, where it's kind of heartbreaking because you start talking to people and you find out their situations, and it's just like, wow, that's unreal. Where they've worked hard, they've had their own business for 7, 8 years, whatever, 10 years, they've put everything they've had into it. Then all of a sudden the economy changes, and next thing you know, they're like, oh my God, we're going to lose our business. What do we do? So they turn around and they get a second mortgage. So you get a second mortgage, and you may have not had the best advice on how to get a second mortgage, and how to different interest rates. And next thing you know, you're getting the second mortgage through a lending company or another lending company, and the rates are astronomical. And you're looking at your interest rates on your second mortgage that you took out to help keep your business afloat. And then next thing you know, you're having to shut the door on your business. And that part is just so like, oh my gosh. So now you're sitting in a situation where you have this huge first mortgage, you have the second mortgage, you've taken out almost all the equity out of your house. And now you're sitting there and you're like, okay, wow, now I've just lost my job. What are we going to do? So you hang on because you have a little bit in your savings. And the next thing you know, it turns around and you're sitting there and all of a sudden it's like, okay, we need to do something. We need to figure something out because we can't continue on with this. So you then go to the bank and of course the bank's like, no, there's nothing more we can do for you. So that's where we can come in with our team of people and take a look at where you are financially, exactly your first mortgage, your second mortgage, and that's where you work with one of my mortgage brokers. And they can take a look at the situation. And in some cases, there may be an opportunity where you only have, say, the buyout of your first mortgage, where it's just like a small little payment penalty that you're like, okay, I can live with that to get out of it. So then we can get you out of that and maybe look at putting both refinancing and putting both mortgages together. Or if it's a situation where we need to get you out of that house altogether, then we can help you sell that house with one of our realtors, and then we can move you into something else that's more affordable at that time, where then you can pay off that mortgage and start over, because now, because of different steps you've had to take, your credit's been bruised, your credit score may have been good before, but now it's like, low 500s and you're just not going to qualify. So we then can put you in one of our rent-to-own program and work with you to find a home that you can now afford, and work with you over the next 2 to 3 years to get your credit back up and be able to then afford that house and move on with your life, basically, how that works. So that's just another scenario. So those are kind of 4 common scenarios that are happening a lot around Calgary, and it can be heartbreaking depending on the situation, because you just never know. And my heart goes out to people like that. I want to help as many people like that as I can. Don't worry about call me. You can reach me on my Facebook. You can reach me through my website. Even if it's a situation where you may not need me as far as an investor goes, but you might just need someone to say, hey, I have this situation. Do you know someone who can help me? And so if I can point you in the right direction and someone on my team can help you, then I'd be more than happy to help you out in that situation. It's not, yes, I'm growing a business here, but I'm also here to help others. And we are in such a state right now where there's so many people that need help and they just don't know where to turn. And you think you're at the end of your rope and you're like, what do we do? So I just want to reach out to as many people as I can to say, you're not alone. Don't worry. There are people out there like me and other investors. And I do work with a wonderful team of investors that we work together on helping people. So that's kind of it for tonight, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me. And for those of you who are watching my replay, if you have any comments, you can put them in the comment section, or you can reach me on my website, www.Shaw-Roco-Solutions.com. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm away next week. I'm actually in Phoenix for a week for my day job, for my York Territory Sales Manager big national conference I'm all excited for. So I won't be here next week, but I will be returning on November 8th at 7 p.m. So have a good evening, and I look forward to seeing you then. Take care. Bye.